This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, Jason Glick, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right, John. How about you?
Oh, not too bad. Just we're cresting into September here, and we're finally done with the dog days of August. And
I wish, man. It's fucking hot out here.
Yeah, for real. It seems like Hades has visited. But for sure, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but it's terrible weather out here, and I don't know a good segue for that. But for terrible weather, we got that breeds terrible behavior, and that's what I'm going to be talking about for tonight. That's basically Rick Remender's run on Uncanny X-Force. Now, X-Force has had a history in Marvel. It's basically being kind of the edgier, the more military or activist-oriented version of the X-Men. And it started as a relaunch of New Mutants under the auspices of Rob Liefeld back in the late 80s, early 90s, and was one of the biggest selling comic books at the time. And its original incarnation ran for about 100 issues. Then Peter Milligan and Mike Allred took over and brought it and wrenched it in a really strange but thoroughly entertaining take on satire on modern celebrity and the culture it provokes. Then Marvel brought it back a couple of years back under the auspices of Chris Yost and Craig Kyle, as basically the Black Ops squad for X-Men. Basically, this is like a Wolverine-led team that would take on jobs that were far too the other team couldn't know, that the rest of people couldn't know about. This is originally done under Cyclops' supervision. And eventually, it's like when X-Force's existence came out, it's like that was during the crux of the Messiah Second Coming crossover. It basically it just is lots of angst, lots of drama, but and at the same time when New Mutants started being born, they figured, okay, we don't need X-Force anymore. We're just going to go and take care of things as they've always been. But then, the teaser we got at the end of the crossover was that Wolverine went and said, okay, now no one can know about us. Not Cyclops, not no one. And that's where Remender's team picks up. And I've written reviews of pretty much just about every volume of the series so far, because while Remender hadn't really wowed me with his creator-owned work like Fear Agent, but Uncanny X-Force has actually been remarkably good. I mean, considering that the previous incarnation was derided for being too grim, too dark, this one actually works incredibly well. It got a lot of acclaim in its early issues for being a well done team book, the kind of team oriented action we hadn't seen since the 90s. But then it whipped out one of the best Marvel events in recent memory in the Dark Angel saga. Now, to set some groundwork for this series, this is the team that consists of Wolverine, of course, Psylocke, her boyfriend Angel, who also has the Archangel persona instilled in him from back in the day from Apocalypse, Deadpool, because everyone's got to have Deadpool in here somewhere, and Phantom X, a mutant created by Grant Morrison, basically one of the a member of the Weapon Plus, a former product of the Weapon Plus program, meant to be the smiling public face of mutant killing, of mutant hunting authority, but he has to escape his destiny, and is now basically being a fake French thief for hire, as was the inspiration that Morrison drew from his creation. Now you've got basically these characters, mercenaries, killers, characters who are willing to do what they have to do in order to make sure that other people don't have to deal with these threats, to make the hard decisions that they have to do. Essentially, you've got a team that is basically killing all the bad guys, so that their friends, their comrades, don't have to make the same hard decisions. down the line. Now and that's a situation that's brought up in its very first volume, the Apocalypse solution, when they find out that Apocalypse, one of the X-Men's big bads, has been resurrected, but the catch is this time that he's being raised as a kid, and he's just like a 12-year-old being indoctrinated by Apocalypse's horsemen and support staff. So what happens when the team beats down the horsemen and comes face to face with the kid? What do? Do you take this kid who's that evil, basically baked into his bones since the very beginning, who's been indoctrinated to think that mutant kind deserves to win above all else? It's like what do you do with that? Well, if you're the X-Men, you're going to have like a nice hand-wringing debate, and then eventually bring him back, and try to show him the right way to live things. Not this time. What separates X-Force in that very first storyline is that he gets shot in the head, and everyone else is left to figure out, well, what was that the best solution. Now that I'm throwing that out there right now because that's kind of like unconventional approach that the series takes with this character. What's made it really compelling for throughout most of its run, because you're never quite sure what direction Remender is going to take things as they go on. It's like they had another satisfying story in Deathlock Nation where they found that the entire future where some person called the Father had basically turned all the future superheroes into Deathlocks, and they were basically made a utopia, and they just come back in time in order to ensure that things happened. Things didn't turn out so well for them afterwards, but it leads to one of my all-time favorite Deadpool moments. But I don't have really a lot of favorite moments with the character, but this one was great in the sense that he's effectively pacified by the Father as he tries to turn his Deathlocks on the rest of the team. He's basically cooing all these family-friendly fatherly things to Deadpool. And when he says, "Oh, I'm going to tuck you in and give you a kiss on your forehead," and then Deadpool goes, "Wait, yeah, that's cool. Wait a second, that's creepy." And so it's Father. It's like Father crossing the line from Deadpool saying, "Hey, he crossed the line from loving father to creepy uncle," and that allowed him to break out of his mind control. It's great. It's great, funny, clever moments like that I look for in my superhero comics, and this series is full of them. The Dark Angel saga also manages a near perfect escalation of tension and terror throughout throughout its run. I mean, it doesn't. It's like, yeah, that the Archangel isn't going to destroy the world, but at the same time, there's the tension and scale that Remender imparts on these. It's like in the story, at least manages to suspend disbelief long enough to make this threat seem credible, and it's easily one of the best. One of the best X events in recent memory is probably one of the best executed major Marvel storylines of the past several years. Well, okay, it's probably a bit of a hyperbole right there, or else I would have put it on my 10 best list last year. But it's really, I would say it's completely worth checking out, except for the fact that there's lots of continuity involved, and especially when it involves stuff like the Age of Apocalypse. And a lot of knowledge, prior knowledge of the characters' relationships and how they work together. Then, Remender followed that up with Otherworld, where Phantom X was called in to account for his actions of the very first arc by the Captain Britain Corps, and that actually had some decent stuff about about killing and its necessity, and that's especially when the real villain was revealed to be Captain Britain's reformed. Well, let's just say that it turned to be a bad guy a good guy who used to be a bad guy, but eventually became a bad guy again, and eventually had Psylocke in the position of pulling the trigger in order to save all of reality. See, it was a good storyline based, contrary to what I'd heard, because most of the issues I'd heard were that Greg Tocchini's computer generated art, or at least computer assisted art, was kind of kind of ruined the story. And that's not entirely true. I don't think it ruined the story. It was still pretty intelligible, but it didn't hold a candle to work established by previous artists such as Jerome Pena, Assad Ribic, and also Mark Brooks in the previous storylines. Pena's work, in particular, as I mentioned earlier in my review of Hickman's Avengers, is beautifully detailed stuff that the man has a fearsome imagination. He's able to draw weird alien landscapes, give immense amount of detail to Apocalypse's hideouts, but also make the characters look emote believably as well. And the guy's a real talent, and I can see why Marvel put him as the lead artist on Hickman's Avengers run, and is now having him trade off with Dustin Weaver on the issues of Hickman's Infinity crossover. Anyway, Rick Remender followed that up with the 2-volume Final Execution Saga. This basically had the had the team falling apart, with Psylocke quitting, Phantom X quitting because Psylocke was quitting as well, and then leaving Wolverine, the Age of Apocalypse, Nightcrawler, and Deadpool to pick up the slack. Now the thing with this though is that this one basically brought home the series focus on killing as a necessity versus trying to find a different way. Because Wolverine basically sums up the whole approach, is that these are like he, Psylocke, Deadpool, Phantom X, and Nightcrawler are basically killers. They're just trying to turn this. He figured this would be a great way to try and turn their attitudes into a more positive direction. Problem with that is that he basically said that this is basically kind of like an AA meeting with a mandatory binge drinking session right afterwards. It's an approach that doesn't quite work, and it only leads you to more killing and more heartache as things go on. The key to this though is the not quite resurrected Apocalypse, Evan, who's been a supporting character in Jason Aaron's Wolverine and the X-Men series. He figures in key to the Final Execution arc. It's basically he's been kidnapped by the new Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, led by Wolverine's thought to be dead son Daken, and also and his cohorts Sabretooth, Mystique, the Shadow King, and the Skinless Man, another villain from the Otherworld arc in X-Force, and the Omega Clan, which are a group of assassins who are bred to believe that X-Force is responsible for the death of their parents. Now, their goal for this in kidnapping Evan is basically make him get him to realize his role as the heir to Apocalypse, and then use his powers to take over the world. It's a nice, clever supervillain-esque plot, and that forms the core of the last volume. See, basically their plan is to basically just get Evan to turn and eventually kill someone, and then once he's finally gone that far, they'll be able to use the Shadow King in order to take over his mind. Then you've also got the rest of the team. It's like who are basically trying to get to Evan and make sure that happens. It's a nice race against time, but also they're also debating about the whole morality of what are we going to have to do in order to stop this. In the end, though, it actually turns out it actually turns out to be really to be fairly compelling and and thoughtful as. See, as Wolverine is forced to do the unthinkable in order to save both his school, and his friends. Psylocke eventually has to have to come face to face with all the killing she's done over the course of the series, and Deadpool. Well, see, Deadpool actually gets a chance to be a big damn hero, and and shows you that maybe he's that he was essentially put into the series to be the comic relief, but he actually has his own. He managed to have his own nice little character arc there as well. Nightcrawler from the Age of Apocalypse, though, he basically underscores the futility of revenge here, as he managed to achieve his goals of taking out the one person who ruined his life, but then at the same time he winds up losing everything else in the process. See, it's a good wrap up. It's not on the level of the Dark Angel saga, which is the book's high point, but it still does a good job of taking the series themes to its natural conclusion, and I'm wrapping things up with the sense that that there is, even for all these characters who have done unspeakably bad things over the course of the series run. There's still hope for them. Even at the very end, and that's what makes it work. But may seem trite and cliched, but there's enough detail, enough grit to make this believable, as well as the ultimate conclusion for Wolverine to disband the team at the very end. Plus, we also get 2 additional stories from Remender and Opeña that show detailing their first work with Wolverine and Deadpool, respectively. Wolverine's is a decent one-off about him trying to find out the right person to kill. Deadpool, though, is beautifully ridiculous in its depiction of him coming face to face with a crazy cold based on overeating. It's ridiculous, and it's probably got one of the best fart jokes I've ever seen put on paper. It's beautiful, but because Marvel is what it is, they're not wrapping things up with Remender's run. Uncanny X-Force has been relaunched as part of the Marvel Now initiative under the auspices of writer Sam Humpries, who has got a lot of good notices with his one-shot Our Love Is For Real, and he also kind of got some good notices from other people on his work with Ultimates. I thought it was all right, but I can't say I see anything that makes this guy as one person who I really want to follow above all else. It's not, he doesn't do bad work, but it's not. But compared to what Remender has established on the series, we needed something more here, because his first volume of Uncanny X-Force, Let It Bleed, is by no means a bad book. Let me just say that right there. But it suffers from a real lack of identity and what it really needs in order to separate itself from other X titles. All right, because what Uncanny X-Force's this latest version, what it really has to tie itself to the previous version is Psylocke. I mean, essentially after the end of Remender's run, she disappeared with Phantom X into Paris for a year or so, and came back, and she was just bitchy as all hell, and proving a really bad fit for Wolverine's Jean Grey school. So he sends her out to L.A. To investigate this drug dealing operation. Hooks her up with Storm and Puck to find out what's going on. They find out that Spiral, the six-armed teleporting mutant from the Mojoverse, is basically running a drug dealing operation with the aid of this one girl. And it turns out that though they're not actually just doing anything bad, Psylocke has some really bad history with with Spiralos, we find out in in the course of the run, and it leads her to just kind of like just blowing things about wide open partway through. But that's not the real threat. The real threat is Bishop, who we last saw in at the final in the last volume of Dwayne Straczynski's cable series, abandoned in the far future after trying to kill Hope, trying to prevent whatever the hell she was going to do to turn humanity against mutants in the future. Bishop shows up and he's crazier than ever. He's been possessed by some sort of demon bear revenant, and he's also carrying some even more scary like owl persona, who is apparently trying to get the girl that Spiralos is caring for. And that's I will say this, at least that's a decent storyline to follow. I mean, it gives you a story, it gives you a direction to take this series. But the problem is that what is this version of Uncanny X-Force about? I mean, as I said, the previous 2 volumes were established as the X-Men's Black Ops Squad, the X-Men, the team who does what the other teams can't or won't do. This version just kind of seems like it's a regular X title. I mean, it's a bunch of distaff members who you wouldn't normally see elsewhere. I mean, it really can make you wonder that, hey, it's like that Humphrys just wanted to write all these characters, and hey, more power to him that he did. And he's got some nice moments with Psylocke facing off against Spiral and Wolverine later on, and also Phantom X. And he also picks up on the craziness with Phantom X and his other clones at the end of Remender's run. That apparently something happened to them in Paris, but we don't quite know what it is yet. I mean, yeah, there's some threads that I'm interested in following, but at the same time, I'm kind of wondering, what is this book's persona? What is its, what separates it from every other X book out there? I mean, yeah, this one has blanked out profanity, but that's not really a whole lot. I mean, it's got some good art from Ron Garney, Dexter Soy, and the welcome return of Adrian Alfona, who used to work on Brian Vaughan's Runaways, and he does some great mindscape sequences in this series. But I said it's suffering from an identity crisis right now. It doesn't have enough to distinguish what it is beyond being just a decent X book. So if you're like me and you like decent X books, then this is worth checking out. But overall, it's like Remender's X-Force is the place to be. It's available in 7 volumes, all available in softcover and hardcover if they're still in print. And also, Marvel is reprinting the entire run in an omnibus. It'll be out, I believe, in either March or April of next year. That one, if you haven't read the series yet, and the omnibus is cheaper than buying everything in softcover, then yeah, I highly recommend this. It's like there's going to be probably a lot of continuity that you may need to catch up on, but overall, it's been one of the best X runs it's like I've seen in recent memory. Highly recommended. Okay. John, so any thoughts on this?
Not tonight, sir. All
right, I'll just leave it at that then, and say that I would. This is where I'd say about what we're talk about next time, and damned if I know. I'm sure I'll figure out something, but not now at any rate.
You always do find something, don't you?
Well, I kind of have to.
He's like, it's a scheduled podcast. We do this every other week, so yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure I can find something.
Oh, there's so much out there. Yes, absolutely. All right, and until next time, we'll catch you later on Comics Picks by the Glick.
All right, bye.
Bye.